What's good, people? Welcome back.
On the unbeaten with Keith Murphy.
Hey, let's go. What's good?
Man, what's happening, man? I had to put on all black today, man. You know what I mean? Uh,
Uh,
y'all, man, that was there was a funeral, man, that happened on Sunday. You know what I mean? It was pretty sad, man. My boys got cooked up pretty bad by James Cook, pun intended. Pun intended.
unintended.
Pun intended. You know what I mean? But
That was a tough. Well, it wasn't a tough watch for me. I was fine with it.
I'm sure you were. I'm sure you enjoyed it. I'm sure you sat back, kicked back, was like, ha, yeah, man, nobody can see us, the 49ers, we on top of the world. Hey,
I told you last week. I don't like our spot right now. Everybody's looking at us like the demon team, like the Monstars, and
that's what they call y'all. They called y'all that on ESPN today. I heard them.
we're going to be tough to beat, but we're not unbeatable. Do I think we have probably one of the most unbeatable teams in the last few years? Yes. Due to our quarterback outplaying his contract many folds over. I don't care if he's elite. I don't care if he's great, whatever. Is he outplaying $800,000?
Absolutely. I mean, look, you got to take advantage of this discount. Take full advantage, baby. Woo!
Right. I told somebody it's a cheat code. I told my other boy that's a Cowboys fan. It's almost like when Steph was making 11 million and it left enough under the cap to where you could sign Kevin Durant. That's kind of the position that we're in. So we have to capitalize. Like we're able to go get a Hargrave. We're able to keep the highest paid linebackers, one of the best DBs, the best offensive lineman in the game with Trent. I mean,
y'all got a test coming up, though. I mean, we're about to see what's really good, man. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Yeah, we got the Ravens coming up, and these Rams looking like they ain't about to lay down for nobody. So
I saw that about week 2. Then they went through some injury spells, and y'all got hold of them. Y'all did them pretty dirty,
Stafford got injured in that game. He injured his thumb in that game, as a matter of fact, like in the third quarter.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
He didn't look good before he injured his thumb.
Yeah, I agree. So where do you want to start? You want to start with the Cowboys, MVP, the Dirty Birds? Where we want to go first?
Man, let's get this Cowboys stuff out the way, man.
Okay. So let's go. Bad sign or bad game?
I'm gonna say both.
Okay.
It was definitely a bad game, but I'm gonna say not a bad sign for getting in the playoffs because we're in the playoffs already, of course. I don't think it's a bad sign for the first round. I think it's a bad sign for the matchup, a potential matchup with San Francisco.
Right.
That is
Or any team that has the capability to play that physical. I don't think all teams can do what Buffalo or us did to you guys.
No. I mean, you have to have that physical brand. I'm not. I would be lying to you if I told you that I was enthusiastic about this matchup with a fully healthy Miami at home.
Right.
You know what I mean? We happened to catch them when they're fully healthy. The Eagles played them. They were missing 3 linemen. I think A-Chain was out that game. Like they were like depleted, and they ended up being the Eagles' best game of the season. You know what I mean? Best win of the season, I should say. Right. But we're getting them fully healthy coming off a game where we just got gashed up on the ground. Our linebackers got exposed. Well, I mean, it's not a matchup that I'm looking forward to. But when you really look at Miami to jump ahead to that matchup, they're basically a mirror image of us, a faster version of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're a version of us with fast. You know what I mean? We have power, more
physical.
Yeah, we have more physical wide receivers, and they have the speed, and they have the speed backs. So that's kind of concerning. Even on the defensive side, it's almost identical when you think about it, because they're a team that they have to be ahead as well to be like we could do to them what teams, like Buffalo do to us,
Right,
did to
right,
us.
right. I
You know,
agree with that.
so they're a team that needs to be ahead too. But as high powered as their offense is, they usually are ahead. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. My confidence is not high just because we're going to Miami and they've been really good at home. If they were coming to Dallas or they were on the road, I would feel a little differently. But they've been different, at home, and we haven't been that great on the road.
Y'all almost mirror images of each other because I don't think they beat a team with a winning record. Obviously, y'all beat the Eagles, but they've struggled with teams with winning records.
Yeah, I mean they haven't beaten. I think they still haven't beaten one. They're still, I think they're like 0-3 or 0-4. So
look, the schedule opened up for them. Like y'all had an easy schedule this year. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I think the year we went to the Super Bowl, we had a real easy schedule. It's just something you have to take advantage of when you have that opportunity. You know what I mean? And so you got Miami. The thing is, man, y'all struggling on the road with these teams. What's up with y'all road performance, man?
I can't explain it on defense. I really can't. I feel like we have a defense that travels well, but I can say one thing I could correlate it to is they kind of have on the road. They kind of have to go as the offense goes.
My man Rome chiming in. Thanks, dog. Good to see you, man. I'm still getting this shit going, but I'm glad to see you tapping in, man. I told you about my man Rome Cowboy Fan Talk, right?
Yeah. No, I gave him a subscribe, man. Yeah, man,
Okay.
and I enjoy your show, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining.
Rome, he a Cowboys fan, so you can holler at him.
So he feeling that same energy I'm feeling this week.
That's why you got all black on.
But we definitely need to. So to answer your question about the woes on the road,
Right.
So a lot of times what tends to happen is that we have a defense that plays its best when it's ahead because they can get to the quarterback. They can go out there and hunt.
So do we.
Yeah. So what happens is the offense is different on the road.
Right.
Obviously for reasons of that, all offenses are different on the road, which is, the way the signals are called and everything are different. You know what I mean? The communication is different.
Right.
So it seems like we have to play. The defense has to play off of the offense because if the offense ain't putting up points, and if we fall behind like we did with the Bills, now you got a team like them. They got a running back like James Cook gashing us on the ground. They get their ground attack, and then I know you've been hearing it all week. Them talking about our linebackers. We've converted safeties into linebackers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shout out Marquise.
You think that's more of a product of the injuries y'all have with like Van Der Esch and stuff, or just a personnel thing? Like, what do you think is up with that?
Well, it's a combination of both. I mean, Dan Quinn likes those safety linebacker hybrid players. Unfortunately, everybody's not Cam Chancellor. You know what I mean?
Right. That's true.
So
I'm very familiar with Cam Chancellor.
Oh, I bet you are. NFC West. So my thing is, Marquise Bell. Like I said, I'm a fan of his. He HBCU grad. He's out of FAMU. But I mean, he's undersized. That scheme works. And poor Damone Clark, man, he had a lot of bad tape this week too, man. He wasn't looking too good. He made it on Jeff Saturday's Pancakes.
I saw that with that offensive lineman.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The Bills have been better since Joe Brady took over, and they run in a way different scheme than they did with Ken Dorsey. And I'm not gonna lie, I was shocked at their game plan. Like, I'm sure the Cowboys expecting like we about to get some pick sixes. Josh about to throw the air out the ball, and then they just come out and run the ball like it's 1962. And I'm sure. I don't know. I guess adjustments could have been made. I don't know, but
and they ran it. People always say run right at Michael Parsons. They didn't do that. They ran away from
him. They didn't block him.
No, Michael Parsons he ended up in no man's land. Did I lose contact?
No, I hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
I lost my visual. Lost my visual there. But
Okay.
can you still see me?
I can see you.
Okay. Well, I can't see anything right now. I'll figure it out. But
I can hear you though. So good. Keep going.
yeah, no, I mean Michael Parsons ended up in no man's land. You know what I mean? It seemed like every play it's like he didn't have nobody to tackle most of the time, or he was running behind the play and
Right.
coming in late. So it was just like he was rendered completely ineffective. He looks ineffective on the run, when the ball is on the ground or when the ground attack, because he's naturally a linebacker, so it's almost like you have to put him back in the linebacker position when a team is running heavy. But
Right.
I mean that adjustment wasn't made. But that's a question for Dan Quinn.
Right. I agree. I mean, I don't know. So why do you say both? You know what I'm saying?
Why do I say both? You said bad. Why do I say bad sign and bad
Right.
game? Yeah. I think it was a bad game because it was a bad game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bad sign because we're putting tape out there, putting the formula out there of how we can be beaten,
Right.
and I'm afraid it's not. There aren't a lot of adjustments we can make. We might not have the personnel to make the proper adjustments.
Right.
Basically, what we've shown is on the road, if a team gets up on us, you can run it on us, and it ain't much we are able to do about it. If I mean, that game could have went differently. Like I said, I told you in the conversation over the phone, that was a weird game. Watching it the whole time, I'm like waiting for us to go ahead and explode. You know what I mean? But it wasn't happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, it's one of those things where you just you take for what it is. The ball didn't bounce our way a few times. Some bad penalties, really bad penalties. Root to the bros. What up? What up, Justin?
Yeah, what up, Just?
But
Hey, if you got a topic, Justin, let us know, man.
oh yeah, man. We'll touch on whatever, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ball just wasn't bouncing our way, and we had some foolish penalties, man. The DeMarcus Lawrence late hit on the quarterback was horrible. That I thought it was a horrible call. The call they called on Jaron Kearse for hitting
Right.
the defensive receiver when he ran into the back of him. That was a weak call. I thought that was football. So it's just one of those things, man. You take it for what it is, man, and you kind of move forward and just learn from it. Hopefully, Dan Quinn said the biggest problem was that we weren't hawking the ball, the way we usually do. And he
Right.
said he expects them to hawk the ball, and then he's right. They have this drill where everybody runs to the man with the ball, and it wasn't happening. They were just getting all these gaps, seemingly wherever they wanted them. So
Right. He says, how do you feel about the 49ers Ravens matchup this weekend?
oh yeah. We were gonna touch on it a little later, but we can go ahead and jump into it now.
We can.
We could talk about the bird hunting y'all got going on. The 49ers.
Oh, Bird Hunt is 4-0 right now, baby.
The bird hunt is 4-0. Keith.
That's it. Smash the Seahawks twice. Smash the Eagles. Smash the Cardinals. That's 4-0. This is our fifth bird.
Bird 5. Okay. But what are y'all gonna do, Keith? I mean, this is this has huge implications. This could potentially be a Super Bowl rematch, man. The Beyonce Bowl rematch. What's up?
I don't. Lamar is different, man. I do like the fact that we played Kyler last week, so I think that prepares us because I think those are the two most mobile quarterbacks in the league as far as speed and athleticism. If we can contain them, I think we'll be fine. But I'm not gonna lie, this matchup worries me almost more than any other matchup that we could probably face. To be honest, it gives me hope because even though they have the number one defense, I saw Matt Stafford and the Rams go for like 31 against them, and I think our offense is better than theirs. But Stafford is also a more veteran quarterback than Purdy, and McVay is a great schemer, which Shanahan is too. I look at the betting line and we're -5.5, and I think it's like that for a reason. So I'm gonna say we'll beat them, man. Uh, uh, um, but am I saying that like with extreme confidence? Absolutely not. Like I think they're the one team that has a lot of answers for the things we do. For one, Shanahan likes to scheme up linebackers and safeties because from what I've seen, most teams don't have linebackers and safeties that can match up with what we do. And I think Baltimore does. Outside of Greenlaw and Warner, you'd have to say Roquan Smith, and I forgot the other kid's name that they just drafted. You might see the four best linebackers in the league this weekend on the field, and so they have matchups that can give us issues. I think. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean the run game is where it kind of you meet the blows at. You know what I mean?
Right
The scary thing about the Ravens is that they seem to win even when
there, he
Lamar.
goes. It's Pat McQueen. So Pat McQueen and Roquan Smith.
Yep,
Yep.
Pat McQueen. That's it.
Hmm.
The Ravens seem to find ways to win even when Lamar Jackson isn't having a good game.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
And
So,
his good game is relative because it's never about numbers.
right.
His good game is like, do I make plays at the right time? And typically he does. You know, he'll get a scramble here. We played them back in 2019 when we went to the Super Bowl, and they beat us, I think, 20-19 or so. They beat us by one score. Um, and the times that we could get him, we couldn't get him off the field and key moments. And so I worry about that.
Yeah, I think y'all. I think San Francisco has the advantage at the receiver position. Um, I think. I mean, Mark Andrews.
It is juice.
What's that? It's crazy that he's still on pace for the 37. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a massive stat.
I mean, his this year, it's not as dominant as what it has been in the past,
Mm-hmm.
but it's working for them. I mean, from what I see, most of the games that they've played, they've been up, and so even the games they lost, they kind of should have won. So they could almost be undefeated.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think I mean when I look at the tight ends, I think Kittles is having a better season than Andrews this year.
Well, Andrews is obviously hurt, so he's
Yeah,
out.
he's hurt. Yeah, he's out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But who is their backup tight end right now that they have in?
I have to look it up, but I heard he's playing well.
Okay.
I heard he's playing very well, like he's balling. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So I mean, you got you got Kittles. I mean, you got, of course, you know, we got Debo and Ayuk. I mean, I don't know. I'm anxious to see this matchup. I mean, I think this is the one that everybody has been wanting to see. It's kind of like y'all are like the big bad bullies right now, the NFL, and
Right.
everybody wants to see who can at least measure up or match up to you guys. If it's even a close game, then it's gonna raise some eyebrows. But if
Then we're
y'all,
gonna put something on tape that we don't want to put on tape.
yeah, you're right, exactly, yep.
But if we smash them, what is that gonna say?
I mean, then it's still the South San Francisco 49ers Invitational. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Who's up? But you know how it is any given Sunday, and then you guys got a history of getting injured at bad times.
Well, so that's why I don't like to go too crazy. Last year, I thought it was our year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the first play of the NFC Championship or first series, our quarterback gets his arm knocked out of socket. And so I don't want to say it's the same. I will never say that. I'll never disrespect the NFL like that. I've been waiting 29 years for a Super Bowl ring. So do I think this is our year? Absolutely. Am I going to be outward braggadocious about it? Absolutely not. Like, we got to get it done, though.
Keith likes to come out of the ashes. You know what I mean? Keith
I
wants to be the wild card. You know what I mean? That got hot at the end of the season. That
For
comes
sure.
in and surprises everybody.
But also, that hasn't worked for us either because we haven't got it done yet.
Well, it does, I mean, I just think it doesn't matter this year, man. Anybody who knows football, the eye test tells you that y'all are the most talented team in the NFL. Anybody who knows football and watches it, you can look at it from every skill position. I always tell you, what I've been telling you this for weeks. The only weakness I see with you all is that you're top heavy. You know what I
Right.
mean? that's my only thing. I feel like, y'all get injured in certain spaces, then y'all are kind of
Well,
y'all
you
seem to
know
start
why we're top heavy, right? Because we traded away those 3 first-round
the
draft.
draft, the draft picks.
So this year we get our draft picks back, all of them, and so next year we should be a little bit more. We should have a little bit more depth, but it's also hard to have the highest paid person in almost every unit and have a lot of depth. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, no
So
doubt.
we got another question here. What do you think the Bears should do with Justin Fields? I think they should get rid of him.
You think they should get rid of him?
Oh,
Man,
look, I'm living as a 49ers fan on this kid on the rookie wage where I can stack the team. And I don't think Justin Fields is so talented that I should keep him and have to worry about paying him. I'm almost all in or all out. If I don't feel like I should pay you, why I want to keep you? You know what I mean? Why not? Especially if I get the number 1 pick, why wouldn't I reset the rookie wage scale? You're paying Sweat, you're paying other guys. You know what I mean?
And I'll answer that for you because your franchise has a history of not developing quarterbacks. And I see Terrence James said trading to Atlanta. Look, I think imagine this, man. Justin Fields, you can see that he has the potential to be a playmaker. You put some weapons around him and get him some protection, he's gonna be a problem. You got man, go draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and pair him with DJ Moore, and y'all got one of the toughest receiving cores in the NFL, and you got Justin Fields throwing him the ball. You know what I mean? You got something to build on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think they don't have a second round pick this year, right? That was the one they traded away.
Right.
Yeah. So, look, if you're gonna trade Justin Fields,
no, they didn't trade nothing away. Carolina. So here's the thing with the Bears: if they get the number 1 pick, it's because of Carolina, and they still have their first round pick, so they could have 2 top 5 picks. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Here's Justin saying he's not sold on Caleb Williams or Drake May. Well, are you sold on Justin Fields?
I'm not sold on them going to Chicago.
Are you sold on anybody going to Chicago?
Where's the last? What was the last great quarterback to play for the Chicago Bears?
They've never had one.
Somebody educate me.
They never had one.
Right. So why not, man? Why not? You got this young, explosive talent, man. Yeah, he struggled at the beginning of the season, whatever. He's starting to get hot. He needs somebody to develop him. If you develop the quarterback, man, then he can make things happen. You put some talent around him, go get some give him some weapons, man. Give Justin some weapons and see what happens, man. Because what you gonna do? You're gonna go draft Caleb Williams and then you start from scratch. And then what you're gonna do? You're gonna flush his rookie season down the drain because he's gonna have the same problems that Justin Fields was having to start off with.
Right.
I guess as a football fan, I don't want to see Caleb Williams go to Chicago.
That's where you're at with it. I ain't never sold on no college players. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, what they're saying he's supposed to be. He was more highly touted than what Justin Fields was out of college. You get a young offensive coach. And, I'm obviously biased. I'm in a situation where we're developing a young quarterback, second year, that's balling. Have him under a rookie deal for the next 2 years. Like, we're able to stack the team around him. But to your point, you got to have the people in the front office that want to build around that. You know what I mean? And that can. And so do you think they're going to keep the same coach or they're going to go fire their GM and all that and figure it out?
No, I think they need to move on from the coach, man. I think the coach was the problem. You know what I mean? And on the defensive side of the ball, they went into the season with a suspect secondary.
Right.
So, they just gotta make some changes there. But they need a coach that can coach a quarterback, man. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I told you before, we give Mike McCarthy a hard time, but you can tell Dak looks different. under Mike McCarthy. He's starting to look like a Mike McCarthy product.
Well, let's go back to the Cowboys. Then. What is your goal as a Cowboys fan? Would you want to replace Mike McCarthy depending on where y'all end up in the playoffs this year?
Replacing with who? You know what I mean? That's the question. I mean, and then you got to think. Like I said, I see Dak Prescott really settling in to the quote unquote Texas Coast style of play. I mean, he looks more confident.
Texas Coast was the beginning of the year when he looked ass. Y'all are running something different now.
No, it's the same thing. He's just they're just not running the play.
We'll come back to that in a second. We got a comment from Greg Curry. Nobody expected the Broncos to be where they are. Now they're trying to write my guy Russ off. Is Russ really your guy? Comment on that. I don't think they're trying to write Russ off. I think Sean Payton is trying to write Russ off. What do you think about that sideline interaction with Sean Payton really getting on him like that?
I've never seen that type of interaction with like head coach and quarterback, not in this era of football anyway.
Right.
I thought it was you ask yourself, man, would he have done that with anybody like Drew Brees or somebody like that? I mean,
you don't have to ask yourself that. He never did that with
He never did it. Right. I'm just saying, it's like
I'm gonna be honest. I have never seen Shanahan go at Purdy like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I see Justin down there. He said, as a Super Bowl champ, he got the same amount of Super Bowl rings as Drew Brees does. You know what I mean? More Super Bowl appearances. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I thought it was a disrespectful look, knowing that you on camera on national TV.
What do you think about this as far as Russ? Now this is the second head coach he seems to be on the outs with.
Well,
and both of them are Super Bowl champs. Pete Carroll just doesn't have that demeanor like Sean Payton to go at him on the sideline. But behind the scenes, it wasn't good. Otherwise, he would not have got traded.
Well, it was time to move on, man. I mean, it had kind of it had worn out. I mean, we're talking about years. We're not talking about one season.
So, Greg, is Russ your guy? What you like about Russ? And what do you think? And why do you, was that Justin said? Why was it disrespectful with Sean Payton? Let me see. I got Terrence James on here. Denver was the wrong team for Russ. Was there a right one? Where would you want him to go, Terrence? Write in the comments.
Because when he got picked up by Denver, everybody was, you know what I mean? Everybody was
like, AFC West got 4 good quarterbacks. They got Carr, they got Mahomes, they got Herbert and Russ.
Yeah, everybody thought they were going to be the problem, man. And it was just, last year was an absolute disaster. Nobody could have seen it being.
I was happy Russ left the NFC West.
I'm sure you were, because y'all never beat him.
That's right. I also think, Justin, I watched some clips of, y'all know Mark Schlereth, right? Used to play for Denver, Mike Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
So he was on a show today or yesterday, and they showed a lot of clips of Russ missing wide open receivers. Pretty much receivers that Drew Brees probably would never miss, right? Through his progressions. Because Russ, the one thing that is different about him and that he didn't realize, Pete Carroll did let him cook. He let him be outside playoff script. I know that because they whooped our ass a lot. He let Russ play off script, throw deep balls, get out of the pocket. Whereas a guy like Peyton wants a Drew Brees type of quarterback to play on script, right? And so he's going through his progressions. If you look at Cortland Sutherland and Jerry Jeudy the other day, he missed 2 end zone passes when people were wide open because he wouldn't pull the trigger. So that's why Sean Payton got on him. And so when you're doing that, I can see why Sean Payton is going to have issue. Think about how much time he probably spends up dialing up plays. And I know Sean Payton is a genius because as a guy, a few years ago, we played New Orleans, and it was a big shootout. We won 45-42. He was dialing up plays on par with Shanahan. You know what I'm saying? And so if you spend all week dialing up plays, I did say I haven't seen Shanahan cuss out Purdy. I have seen him cuss out Jimmy G. He just does it under his play sheet. It calls him over because Jimmy G misses those shot plays.
Well, that's the point, Keith. Yeah. You said it. He did it under his play sheet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He made a scene and then made headlines. You know what I mean? You should be cognizant enough as a coach. You've been coaching a long time. You know if you know if you go to the sideline and
Well,
do that.
let's be clear before you finish. Also, Drew Brees was his guy. He brought Drew Brees in. He did not bring Russ in. Russ is not his guy.
Russ is not his guy. Russ is who he has to work with. But I mean, do you want a younger guy that you can develop? Or
Judy is definitely a disappointment. Judy is
oh man, he's on my fantasy team. He's freaking hot garbage, man. I'm sorry, but yeah, man, he's look, Steve Smith was right.
1000%. Like freaking off.
We almost traded up to get him.
He better be glad you didn't.
Oh man. But
Judy is definitely a disappointment. I mean, the Broncos, I actually like them as a franchise because I feel like they're AFC San Fran. They had Mike Shanahan, they had like all the San Fran staff from back in the day, and they ran the West Coast with Terrell Davis. Look, Greg Curry said for sure, wasted pick, Judy. How do you know y'all almost traded up for him? How do you know y'all almost traded up for him?
Oh, that's insider info, man. You know what I mean? I got sources.
Yeah, it is. Let's get back to these are the Eagles in trouble? How much trouble the Eagles in?
Keith, man, I've been telling everybody this all season. Nobody wants to listen to me. Nobody saw it. I don't know why. I mean, I guess some people saw it, but dude, they have not been that great all season. Their record is very deceiving. They win. They had a lot of close games with a lot of bad teams.
Right.
They've been like this all season.
Look, they're so confusing to me. The Bills smoke y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Bills
in overtime. Yep.
At home, to your point.
Mm-hmm.
But they've beaten some teams, and obviously they lost to the Jets. Y'all both beat the Rams. It was a little closer on their side, but I feel like they beat the Rams by like 15. You know what I mean? But the bottoms fell out, and I think we put on tape what people have been going with the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Dude, this team, I mean, don't get me wrong, they can hang with anybody, I think. You know what I mean? But I mean, they went into overtime with the Washington Commanders. You know what I mean? They lost to the Jets.
I'm going to be honest. At the time when they went in overtime with Washington, they were actually pretty competitive with Chase and those boys. Before the trade, they were a competitive team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And since they traded Sweat and Chase, they have not been.
But still, you supposed to be the Eagles. You supposed to be the team to beat. You know, you got 2 close games with them. I don't think, man, Chase didn't make so much of a difference that, you know what I mean? What Chase got to do with your defense letting Sam Howell put up 30-plus points on you? Sam Howell?
I agree. It's just like the other night. I said, yo, you in a dogfight? You're in a dogfight with Drew Lock?
Hey, man, look, somebody got to say it, man. Hey, I don't know if Bradbury gonna have a job on the Eagles roster next year, man.
No.
He got some bad tape out there, bro. He be getting cooked.
So look, was Debo wrong?
No. Hey. Hey. Hey, that joke was hilarious. But they asked Debo if he regretted his comp because he said that a year ago.
No, it wasn't a year. It was early. Yeah, almost a year. It was
about a year. Yeah, I mean, last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they asked him. They asked if he regretted the comp.
I don't regret nothing I say.
Confirmation.
Then went out and balled on them boys.
He was bodying.
Had almost his best game as a 49er.
Yo, I don't know. I mean, all our listeners and viewers and everything, man, look, Go when you get a chance, go to YouTube and look at
Look, we got
Bradbury.
Terrence. Barely beat the Commanders. Barely beat the Patriots. Right.
Yeah, they're not. They ain't like that, man.
Hmm.
I got to see them.
Wow.
I got to
Look
see them
at
up close
Justin.
in person.
The Eagles and Dolphins are two biggest pretenders in the NFL.
I don't know about the Dolphins. So, all right. So, I always say, the Eagles' biggest win or best win was against the Dolphins. And at the time, the Dolphins were missing 3 offensive linemen, and I
They
think
were. They beat them up in the trenches, 100%. I
yeah,
watched the game.
and
Yes.
I think A-Chain was out in that game too
Right.
at that time.
He was. He was
Yeah.
on IR. Yep.
To me, those of you just joined us, I said this earlier. I think the Dolphins are a faster version of the Dallas Cowboys. They essentially, they are a different team on the road than they are at home. You know what I
Right.
mean? Their defenses are very similar. Both defenses need the offense to be up to be effective because they like to get to the pass rush. Not very good against the run. There are a lot of similarities, man. You just have to. The Dolphins.
I'm not gonna lie. Well, the Cardinals ran the ball down our throat last week.
Yeah, they're a physical team, and I mean,
But also we were missing both of our defensive tackles. Armstead and Hargrave didn't play.
yeah,
So, but that's still to your point. The way they play if they catch you right, which they caught y'all. They ran the ball down your throat. We just have an offense that they can't stop. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Let's see. Eagles. Yep. Terrence. Eagles barely beat the Patriots.
Hey man, hey, pull up Walter Hamilton's
This one?
Nah, he responded to something I said, but no, what's this right here? Eagles second.
What
Yeah.
faster version of Cowboys means a faster exit from the playoffs. That's my cousin, man.
I know who it is. What's up,
okay.
I know Walt. What's up, Walt? Coach.
So what do you think about that comment? I'm gonna let you vibe with that. I'm gonna let you rock with that.
Be like, here we go. There they went.
If you can't stop the run, you can't go far in the playoffs, man.
They got to stop the run. I need to see a recovery from. I need to see the adjustments from that. I need to see the adjustment from that Bills game. Right. That was unacceptable, man. I mean, I got James Cook looking like his brother from when his brother was a little bit, in his younger years with the Vikings.
What up, boy?
What up?
Thanks for coming on, man.
But now we got our hands full with A-Chain and your boy Mostert.
Well, because the thing is, your man Mike McDaniel's gonna dial it up, right?
Right.
And so,
Mostert has 20 touchdowns.
Yeah, him and McCaffrey. After that, it's 14. So that's what I know. Like I know Andy Reid is considered a better coach than Shanahan. Got the rings with Mahomes and all that. Nobody copies scheme more than Kyle Shanahan's scheme. The guys that the people are saying are game managers in Tua and Purdy, they're putting up ridiculous numbers in the same offense or the same version. You know what I mean? Mike McDaniel is definitely running a different version of Kyle's offense, but it is still it's a stepson or son of what we do in San Francisco. And so you see CJ Stroud balling, another Shanahan offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing I'll say, Nick Wright is very anti-Purdy. And he says that the numbers should not be taken as serious because everybody who is good in Shanahan's offense can look like an MVP, like Matt Ryan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the 2 years he played for Shanahan were the 2 best years of his career. But you can't take that away from somebody, can you?
Right, and we had this conversation off air. Let's have it now. So the thing with Brock Purdy's in a situation where he's surrounded by talent.
Not talent. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't say this on the phone. If we win a Super Bowl or 2, just one, because the Greatest Show on Turf only won one, right?
Mm-hmm.
and everybody remembers those skill players: Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk.
Mm-hmm.
If we win one Super Bowl, I think this could be the greatest skill position group players of all time.
Potentially, yes.
Um,
I was the tricky, like we talked about this before too. What's tricky is you can look at these players and you question whether they're even top 5 at their position.
That's right. But just as a collective, you know what I mean?
It's just
Well, you don't question McCaffrey and you don't question Kittle.
Right.
Those two
they're definitely top 5 at their positions. But when you look at is Debo a top 5 wide receiver? I don't even look at him as
one of my boys, I think Terrence is on here. I told him if Debo wasn't in Shanahan's offense, he would not be looked at as the same dominant player.
We probably wouldn't even hardly know who he was.
We would know because I think he would make splash plays, but he wouldn't be known. He wouldn't be all pro.
No, don't get me wrong. When I say the reason we know Debo so well is because prior to McCaffrey coming there, he was used so much in the run game, and it was just like this freak of nature wide receiver who can run, who can run through the gaps like Derrick Henry.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like that was where all the attention came from. Then you got McCaffrey there. It's like, okay, now we can spread him out.
Right.
And then, but a lot of times when you look at how they use him, it's not like he ain't running down the field, catching balls like AJ Brown. He's more or less.
Well, he is. He caught a deep pass against Arizona the other day.
He did catch one against Arizona.
So here's the thing with him. He can do all of that. But to your point, the end arounds and the run between the tackles, it puts him in a different class than for us. He is an elite player. I will not say, he's put up, even that year he went all pro, he put up elite wide receiver numbers. He had like 1,200 yards receiving with like 300 or 400 yards rushing or something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, do I think he's a better pure receiver than like a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae? No, absolutely not. If he didn't have that running element to him, he would not be all pro Debo. Absolutely not.
Right. And Justin, the answer is nobody.
Yes. Nobody. We know that.
Nobody.
They have not beaten anybody.
But they are playing a like I said, they're kind of mirror images. They are playing at home, and they're playing against a team that's not very good on the road, as we saw in Buffalo on Sunday. So
how do you feel about that? Does it disappoint you? Like, because I feel like this year Cowboys Nation has higher expectations than before, or they're in the past, right?
Right.
So especially coming off that big win against Philly where y'all smoked them, it's like, okay, now we got something. Then to go on the road and to put that kind of effort, because a Cowboys fan spit back at me like, what about that 3-game losing streak? Obviously, we had 2 important players hurt, so that's one thing. I said, but we still have never really got smoked. Maybe that Cincinnati game, but give me by 14 points, you're still in the game.
Right.
Like we haven't went anywhere and been out of the game in the fourth quarter.
We had an important piece as far as stopping the run, missing the John
Hankins.
Yes. He was a huge. When we picked him up last season, that really changed the way we stopped the run, the way we played the run. So that's a huge piece. I'm not putting it all on one guy, but that was a huge piece to have missing because he was very important. And then Mozzie Smith kind of played off of him.
Right.
But it's to answer your question. It's disappointing. I expected more out of that game, but at the same time, as a non-delusional, objective Cowboys fan, I never raised my hopes too high because I've been to the sky and dropped to the ground multiple times by this franchise.
Right.
So I don't allow myself emotionally, drawn in. You know what I mean? I'm just like, all right. And it's clear to see that, right now, all these teams are working up to San Francisco in the NFC. Right. So it's like, if you can be good, you can be blowing teams out, but if I don't think you're as good as San Francisco, I'm not even really raising my expectations anyway. So I need to see more. I need to see more. They've been way more consistent this season than they have in past seasons. I can say that much. But I need to see how this home stretch goes over these last 4 games.
I agree, Walt.
Debo is a top 10 wideout in the league because of his versatility. He is a weapon. You know what
Right.
I mean? I think me and Keith have talked about this on previous shows. I don't even look at him as like a wide receiver. He's like the like in fantasy football, you got the flex.
And I've heard more than one person say it. Shady McCoy made a good point. He said Debo is like that kid when you go out to Pop Warner that can throw farther than everybody, run faster than everybody, and is bigger and stronger than everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think Tyreek Hill is going to play. I think that was one of the main reasons he rested last week.
That's why he rested, yeah, so he can play in the Dallas.
So let me present this, if I can get it up here. We talked about bird hunting season, right? Can you see it?
Bang, bang, bird hunting game.
That's mad weird that it popped up on the schedule like that, right?
That's wild, bizarre, man. So y'all played all the birds except the Falcons.
That's right. All right, so you see it on the screen?
Let's check it out. Bird hunting season.
Seahawks, check. Eagles, check. Seahawks, check. Cardinals, check. And so even if we lose, that's a successful bird hunting season.
Keith, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What if y'all go out there, man, and the Ravens beat the hell out of y'all? Like, blowout. What would be your reaction to that? Like, how would that make you feel about your chances?
Well, first thing it made me feel like is like my mentions, my DMs, and my text messages is gonna blow up because I talk so much shit.
I'm about to say you brought that on yourself.
It really, the only way I feel like we can't win the Super Bowl is if they whooped us and they knocked out Purdy or something, right? I would feel, first off, I definitely would be like pissed because season's over. But if they just beat us straight up and beat the brakes off us, we would have to reevaluate the situation. Do I think it would knock us out of the Super Bowl? Because I still think it would not make me reposition any of my thinking towards the NFC. I'm confident against any NFC team we run into. It would make me cause for pause if we had to face Baltimore, Kansas City, or Baltimore, Kansas City, or Buffalo. If Buffalo gets in, I'm hoping they don't get in. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, nobody wants to see Buffalo win. That.
Just keeping it real.
And you see them do that to us with Josh Allen throwing for 97 yards.
So I would say this: I don't think they can employ the same game plan they did to you guys against us.
I don't think they could do it to us again.
Okay.
You know, I feel like we weren't ready. We just weren't ready for it. The weather was a factor. I think we prepped as if the weather was going to be a certain way, and then it wasn't, and then it was. So I mean, but right. I mean, and these are excuses right now. I got the tools.
So let me ask you this: what do you think are the chances? You think they could just come out there and bust our ass like that? When you say whoop our ass, is it whoop our ass like how we whooped y'all ass, or how Buffalo whooped y'all ass, or like how Cincinnati beat us?
First of all, I don't like the condescending nature of how you're just throwing around loosely. It's how I whooped your ass, or how they whooped your ass, or how we whooped their ass. Look, but nah. So
I mean, hey, I'm just saying there's levels.
Well, one thing I'll say, one thing I can hang my hat on a little bit for this Dolphins game is that after a loss, the Cowboys after each loss we've had this season, we kind of went on a killing spree.
Right. I don't disagree with that.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times that
I'm not gonna lie. I thought the loss that we gave y'all in the fashion we gave it to y'all would break y'all for another week. And
it did the opposite.
One thing I'll say is I watched Dan Quinn's press conference. And one thing he said, we can't let them beat us twice.
He did say that.
I was like, okay, change your mindset.
I like Dan Quinn's demeanor, man. He was just like, he just unfazed, unpanicked. He didn't look like stressed out or anything. He was just casually talking about the look. He identified what he was
Well,
disappointed in.
I also don't think us beating y'all was about scheme more than personnel. Shanahan has a lack of respect for linebackers in the NFL right now, which is why he invests in. I think I told you this last week. Why he invests in Greenlaw and Warner, right? And the only other team that has something comparable is the team we're playing this weekend.
Right.
Whereas most teams don't invest. Like Philly probably should have kept TJ Edwards. He balling in Chicago this year. You know what I'm saying? And so, but Howie does not invest. Howie Roseman does not invest in linebackers.
I mean, we had linebackers. They just, are injured. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Van Der
Our best linebacker happens to be a better pass rusher, so he plays defensive end. That being Michael Parsons.
With your injuries, let me ask you this before we move on to topic. With the injuries, I guess it would first shot to play left-handed, right? Do you wish that they would move him back to cover up those holes in the linebacking core?
It depends on where the adjustments need to be made. If we playing against a team who is predicated on throwing the ball, or who's you know what I mean, who wants to drop back, then no, keep him on the line. But in a situation like we were with the Buffalo Bills, I felt like an adjustment, like at halftime, Dan Quinn needed to tell Michael, like, all right, look, man, we need to put you back here. We need to stop this run game. We need to stop the bleeding. We're just going to have to make Josh Allen throw the ball because it looks like they're going to just kill us and hammer us with James Cook all night. And, which is what happened. I was just disappointed in the lack of adjustments in that game more than anything.
So I'm going to switch it up. I got asked a question, and I know you're a Cowboys fan, but I'll tell you how I answered after I asked. So when it comes to the MVP voting, obviously Brock Purdy is now the betting favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had the choice and one of them got injured, would you rather run with Brock Purdy at quarterback and whoever the backup running back is, or Christian McCaffrey at running back and whoever the backup quarterback is, which is Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold.
You would rather have McCaffrey and run with Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
I said the opposite. And you want me to give you my reasoning?
Go ahead.
No, you give me yours first, then I'll give you mine.
I don't know. I believe in Kyle Shanahan and the way he's able to make average quarterbacks look above average or better. So I think Sam Darnold is going to look better in that. And Sam Darnold will be a better looking quarterback than what we've seen him in his previous location.
So I've seen Kyle Shanahan work with a regular ass quarterback and no McCaffrey and still get to the Super Bowl. So I don't think Brock is a regular quarterback. I think he's good. Somewhere between good and very good. I can't say great yet because the sample size isn't big enough. But is he playing great? He absolutely is, right? Like he's having a great season. We agree?
No, absolutely.
And so I've seen him get to the Super Bowl with like Raheem Mostert and Elijah Mitchell to the NFC Championship with a regular quarterback. So I would rather see Elijah Mitchell come into the game than Sam Darnold come into the game as a 49er fan.
All due respect, Keith Murphy.
Yeah.
Do you remember how y'all started last season before y'all had Christian McCaffrey and how it
1,000%. But we didn't have Brock playing either. We had Jimmy G playing. And Trey Lance.
The Trey Lance experiment.
That's right. Trey Lance for the first 2 weeks and Jimmy G.
Our third string quarterback. Gotcha.
That's right. So I under no circumstances do I ever want to see Sam Darnold under center in San Francisco. Except in the fourth quarter of blowouts.
You're in better shape than you were last year when Brock Purdy went down.
Oh, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a little bit. I would rather not find out.
I bet, yeah. I personally would think it would be quite entertaining. I wouldn't mind watching.
I'm sure you would.
I would like this. I would like to see your emergency quarterback Christian McCaffrey get a turn under center.
I would not like to see that either. So we're good.
But no, I think like I said, I think McCaffrey is the key to everything, man. I think, you know, don't get me wrong, Brock Purdy's balling out. I mean, he's essential. He's very essential. You know what I mean? I do think he deserves to be in an MVP conversation like he is. I think you might have.
Yeah, Walt, that's what we're talking right now. What is your thoughts? You just heard ours. What is your thoughts, man?
Yeah, Purdy versus McCaffrey. You know, it's funny. I feel like they kind of cancel each other out for MVP.
I don't know. I don't think a quarterback can ever be canceled out.
But they're both. If you got two people on the same team that are MVP candidates, shouldn't they cancel each other out?
I don't think Christian McCaffrey is I think Christian McCaffrey is an Offensive Player of the Year candidate. Unless you are rushing for 2,000 yards and going crazy like Adrian Peterson, I don't look at you as an MVP candidate.
Oh yeah, man. Light up Walt.
I agree.
100%, brother.
So
100%.
I went back to this. Somebody was like, when they missing Debo and Trent, they lost 3 in a row. First off, we missed Debo for 3 or 4 weeks last year, right?
Right.
And we didn't miss a beat. We still put up 30 points a game. Our offense right now, because 2 years ago we lost Trent, and we still did okay. You know what I mean? We don't have the depth right now. If we lose Trent, I can just see those 3 games. Brock wasn't fidgety because Debo wasn't out there. He was fidgety because he didn't know what was happening on the blind side.
The blind side, bro. The blind side. Hey. My man, look, my man ain't don't stand a chance without Trent Williams, man. He can be out there getting smacked around by every. I
actually spent time during the Arizona game this weekend watching Trent. I mean, he stands up those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have no shot. I think he maybe got beat once the whole game.
Still mad at how we had Micah. They put Micah on Trent.
That was so dumb. So
make any damn sense.
To me, that's pride. Because even though we smoked the Steelers in week 1, they put TJ Watt on the other side. And he wreaked havoc.
They should have did. They should have put DeMarcus Lawrence on Trent Williams, or man, not even DeMarcus Lawrence.
I would put DeMarcus and Micah on the other side of Trent.
Yeah, I'm about to say put like Sam Williams or somebody over there. Or Dorrance Armstrong.
It's not that Micah can't win against Trent. I just think what's the point?
He's exerting all his energy to beat the one-on-one as opposed to getting to the quarterback. It's right. You know what I mean? It's a misuse of your assets.
100%. That's just like if my point guard is 5'3" and I spend time like, let's put, I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a basketball reference, but it's just like if I have a mismatch, but I just go away from it. It makes no sense. Our right side of our offensive line being weak most of the season. Now this year, it actually has been standing up the last month and improving. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Walt said, we've come up short because of QB play. You said yourself that the Dolphins offense has Mostert with 20 TDs. With that O-line, we can run the ball and add Debo in the backfield. Doesn't miss a beat. I agree.
Who's Walt's team?
Oh, he is San Fran fan too.
Oh, okay. No, okay, I thought so.
He is San Fran fan too. We both are. I agree, Walt. I mean, the Dolphins' offensive line has been getting pummeled too. I mean, maybe through injuries and stuff.
Y'all should have beat the Eagles last year.
You think if we were healthy, we would have beat the Eagles?
Y'all would have beat the Eagles. Yep. I think if Dak was playing the way he was playing this year, we might have beat y'all.
Yeah, I agree. We didn't. Our offense. Purdy was a real rookie. The stuff he's doing, he's playing better this year. You agree? Like the passes he was making when we played, he was not making those passes when we played y'all in the playoffs. He played a very conservative game. You know what I mean?
Yep. System quarterbacks don't improv and make passes
That's
down the field.
that's right. So maybe they do now, right? But when we were growing up, a system quarterback or a game manager was like Trent Dilfer or Brad.
Mhm.
Just if you got to go 3 and out, go 3 and out. Let Ray Lewis and then beat you up, right?
Mhm.
But that's not. We're getting 40 a game, like
Absolutely.
so. He's not. You might never see. Well, so maybe once every 20 years, right? So Fred Warner, Kurt Warner, right? Back in 99, 2000. Now Brock. Well, I mean, Tony Romo was very good, late round pick. Tom Brady. I mean, quarterbacks, I guess, is not it's something you can hit on third, fourth, fifth, sixth round.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, man. I found this random YouTuber that said I can text you the video. I don't know if I've sent it to you before. That he didn't understand why Purdy wasn't projected as a second or third round pick. And I'm like, yo, we should hire him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Tony Romo went undrafted, by the way.
So did Kurt Warner.
Yep.
So, I mean, Purdy damn near undrafted. You Mr. Irrelevant.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you same thing.
So I didn't look. Here's the thing. It's a 49er YouTuber I listen to, and he's like, he said in training camp last year, the quarterback that looks the best is Brock Purdy. So his YouTube shit done went out of here. Like, because he called it like day one, covering the team.
Scouting, man. The scouting report.
Yep. What you got before we get off, man?
That's pretty much it, man. I want to talk about. I know I told you earlier, man. Pre-show production meeting, man. Talk about things that annoyed us this week.
Yes.
This is not a football thing. You know what
Okay.
annoyed what annoyed me this week, man?
What?
And that damn banner going up in my Lakers gym the other day. I was like, man, look, no, don't get me wrong. Okay, let me preface my comments by saying I thought it was great for the NBA for that to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a basketball fan, I thought that was, because it made that it made the tournament more prestigious, I guess.
Right.
But as a Lakers fan, in the spirit of not hanging up any banners other than championship banners, you know what I mean? I didn't need to see that. They could have put
Right.
that somewhere else. I mean, you know what I mean? I get it. They're saying, oh, it's the first one. That's why they did it. Nah.
Hey, I'll say anytime you need to be annoyed, watch Skip Bayless.
Skip. Oh man. I haven't really watched the show that much since Shannon left.
There's no reason to watch. I watch it because sometimes like Richard Sherman and Keyshawn, they be checking him. And so like one thing that you're not that they are is just like, okay, we've been playing good, blowing out all these teams. Now we're ready for San Francisco. And I'm like, bruh, if the shoe was on the other foot, and I'm a real fan, but I'm also a realist. And I'm telling you, I have apprehensions about this game against Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way we smoked Dallas, it wasn't like a fluky thing. It was like, man, to the woodshed we go. Like, we gonna run the ball, we gonna throw it, we gonna pick you off, we gonna sack you. We just out physical them. And so unless it was like key injuries, maybe y'all can make up these 32 points. And to your point, it's any given Sunday. But if a team beat my ass by 4, so to your point, if Baltimore whoop us by 30, am I going to be clamoring in 4 weeks to be like, yeah, let's go rock out with Baltimore again? Absolutely not.
Right. No.
I won't. Somebody, Walt said Kobe and Jerry Bress are rolling over in their grave.
No, I just could see Kobe, the look on Kobe's face, seeing that banner go up. That same look he had when he was on that I think it was like the late night show or something when they showed the clip of the players, the young Lakers players celebrating their first win.
Then I remember that. Yep, on Jimmy Kimmel show, I think it
I
was.
remember Kobe was just sitting there looking like,
Yeah. Because he was injured. He was like, would this be
Yeah.
going on if you were there? I remember that 1,000%.
yeah, nah, he was not happy about that. But nah, it's yeah. I mean, okay, all right, I get it. You know, they want to make it, you know, exciting to play in tournament, but I'm not to play in tournament, the in-season tournament. But yeah, man, that's some stuff that like the Timberwolves or somebody do, man, or Orlando Magic or something, man. That ain't what we do. Mm-mm. That's not what we do. But
Yeah. You like all the flat? You a Yankees fan too?
I'm a Glam fan, man. I grew up in Virginia, man. I was an 80s baby, 90s kid. Look, Lakers, Cowboys, Yankees, right? I'm one of the most. Look, I'll be that. I'm obnoxious. I'm an obnoxious fan. I'll take it. You know what I mean?
So, who are okay? So if you're not, yeah, those are Glam. You're a Glam fan for sure, because those are the three most watched teams in probably the world. Definitely America.
I grew up in Virginia. We did not have a team. I was not.
Oh, look, let me ask you this: who is the second most glamour franchise in the NFL right now?
The second most glam franchise in the NFL,
or is there one?
Dallas is the most glam franchise in all of sports.
1,000%.
But I mean, if you go by the NFL, glam,
none. But popular, there's got to be like 2 or 3 that are kind of like in the.
Y'all will probably be up there. I'll say Green Bay might be up there.
New England because of their success.
People don't like New England outside of New England.
Pittsburgh.
Yes, Pittsburgh is one. I give Pittsburgh.
Right.
All of them old school heavy hitters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they all still have that large fan.
I would definitely put Dallas up. Then those 3: Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Green Bay, in that next tier. I'm trying to think of another AFC team. I would say New England, though, as far as polarizing, they're just as polarizing. It not like lately, but when they had Brady, I feel like people hate New England more than they hated Dallas.
Oh yeah, because they were winning.
Right? Yeah.
People hate us because we used to win and we act like we still are winning.
There you go. I didn't say it, you did.
But yeah, man. Look, I'm gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, me too, man. Hey, again, next week, bro.
You already know.
We're gonna figure it out.
Let's do it.
All right.